Hello students, welcome again in this second video for the topic biomolecules. In last video we had studied about the introduction of glucose as well as introduction of biomolecules, introduction of carbohydrates. Now we have to study the method of preparation of glucose. There are two methods of preparation of glucose. First one is a laboratory method. It is from sucrose. Sucrose means cane sugar. This is the first method. Second method is a large scale method or commercial method or industrial method of preparation of glucose. It is from starch. Now the first method, it is from sucrose, that is a cane sugar, whose formula is C12H22O11. C12H22O11. You just have to carry out the hydrolysis of this cane sugar. Hydrolysis means addition of water molecule on one reactant that produces two products. That process is called as a hydrolysis. Now this hydrolysis is acid catalyzed hydrolysis. That means the reaction takes place in presence of acids like dilute HCl or dilute sulfuric acid. Now what we have to do, that is cane sugar or sucrose, you have to dissolve it in water. After that you have to reflux the reaction mixture, you have to boil the reaction mixture for approximately 2 hours. That means this is a lengthy process, time consuming process, but it is a laboratory method of preparation. What happens, this sucrose undergoes hydrolysis in presence of this acid, therefore this is an acid catalyzed hydrolysis reaction. On warming for 2 hours, that means refluction of the solution takes place, hydrolysis carried out, and you will get two molecules of same molecular formula, that is C6H12O6. One molecule is glucose, another one is a fructose. Now how to separate this glucose and fructose, that is very important point. For that purpose you have to consider the solubility term. Now both glucose and fructose are hot water soluble compounds, therefore we cannot use water to separate these two compounds. Then what we have to do, we have to separate glucose and fructose by using alcohol. That is, separation is by using alcohol. For that purpose you have to pass the solution of this hydrolyzed product, that means mixture of glucose and fructose, you have to add it in alcohol. Now at room temperature fructose is soluble in alcohol. That means at ordinary temperature you have to take the alcohol, you have to add this mixture. What happens, fructose will get dissolved in that alcohol and glucose, it does not dissolve in that solution. Therefore what you can do after that, just filter the solution. You will get the glucose in precipitated form or solid form and fructose gets dissolved in alcohol. By this way you can prepare glucose in laboratory method. This is the first method of preparation of glucose in laboratories. Now the second method of preparation of glucose is from starch. This is a commercial method, or it is a large scale method, or it is an industrial method of preparation of glucose. It is from starch. Now the starch molecule, it is a polymer, it is a homopolysaccharide. This one is a starch, C6H10O5 n times. That means this is a monomer unit of the starch and it gets polymerized and it forms the homopolysaccharide, which is known as a starch. On hydrolysis of this starch, now what happens, this starch do not undergoes or it does not dissolve easily in water. For that purpose you have to heat the reaction mixture. Now what you have to do, you have to dissolve the starch at higher temperature in presence of dilute sulfuric acid. What happens, this starch undergoes hydrolysis in presence of water and forms n number of glucose molecule. As it is a homopolysaccharide, it on hydrolysis produces only one glucose molecule n times. That means no any other carbohydrate is formed, only glucose is formed in this reaction. Now this is a commercial method or it is an industrial method of preparation. Initially what happens, this glucose is slightly impure. Now for that purpose you have to do some more steps which are not mentioned in the book. That parts are, as you are using dilute sulfuric acid as well as glucose is edible product. For that purpose you have to neutralize the sulfuric acid. For that purpose you have to use the chalk powder. That chalk powder neutralizes the excess of sulfuric acid, and the brown colored glucose, which is the crude product of this reaction, for that purpose you have to do the charcoal action on glucose, which decolorizes the glucose. That means the colored impurities present in the glucose that gets adsorbed on the charcoal. In this way you will get the pure glucose in this process. This one is a commercial method of preparation of glucose. Now the next part is structure and properties of glucose. First we have to consider the structure of glucose, which is initially concluded. Now for that purpose we have to consider the molecular formula of glucose. Its molecular formula is C6H12O6. That means 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 6 oxygens are present in glucose. Now glucose is an example of aldohexose. Aldohexose, that means there is one aldehyde group present in glucose. Now on the basis of chemical properties of glucose we can conclude how much primary alcoholic groups are present, secondary alcoholic group present in the molecule. Now on the basis of chemical properties it is observed that there is one aldehyde group present in glucose. 4 secondary alcoholic hydroxyl groups are present in the molecules. That means the hydroxyl groups are attached to secondary carbon atoms. That hydroxyl groups are 4, and remaining one hydroxyl group, it is present end of the chain, hence it is a primary alcoholic hydroxyl group. Now what we have to do, we have to prove all these facts on the basis of chemical properties. For that purpose I have written here properties of glucose. To provide the evidences for the open chain structure of glucose, we have to consider some chemical properties. Let's check the chemical properties of this glucose. Now to prove the structure, first we have to consider the reduction reaction. For that purpose we have to use some reducing agent like HI that provides the hydrogen atoms. Now glucose on reduction in presence of HI, it is observed that it forms the alkane which is known as N-hexane. Common name is N-hexane, IUPAC is hexane. N-hexane, that means all the 6 carbon atoms are arranged in a straight chain, which proves that in glucose there are 6 carbon atoms which are arranged in a straight chain. That means though no any branch is present on the glucose molecule. First factor provided, that means glucose is a straight chain compound. As well as on reduction it provides water molecules. That means 6 oxygen atoms are present on 6 different carbon atoms. That means no COOH or double oxygen containing group is present in glucose. That means all the 6 oxygen atoms are present on the 6 carbon atoms. Now the next evidence is oxidation reaction of glucose. First observe only this part. Glucose is a starting compound. If it is treated with bromine water, it undergoes mild oxidation and it forms one carboxylic group containing compound which is known as a gluconic acid. That means monocarboxylic acid is formed on mild oxidation, which proves that there is a presence of aldehyde group, because aldehyde group is most sensitive for oxidation. it readily undergoes oxidation and easily forms the carboxylic group. That proves that there is one aldehydic group present in the glucose molecule. Another evidence, if we do the strong oxidation in presence of concentrated nitric acid, which is a strong oxidizing agent, then you will get the glucaric acid, which is also known as a saccharic acid, which is a dicarboxylic acid. That means there is presence of two carboxylic groups in this glucaric acid. Now what happens? Primary alcohol undergoes oxidation initially to form aldehyde, which readily undergoes to form carboxylic acid. That means this primary alcoholic group on oxidation initially form aldehyde. Here you will get CHO group, and both these CHO groups further oxidizes to form dicarboxylic acid. Now from this evidence we can prove that there is presence of one primary alcoholic hydroxyl group in the glucose structure. This is the another evidence. That means we have already proved two parts. First one is presence of aldehydic group, another one is a alcoholic group, as well as we have already proved that glucose is a straight chain compound. Next evidence for this glucose structure is reaction with hydrogen cyanide and reaction with hydroxyl amine. Two different reactions are there. We are taking this reaction to conclude that there is presence of aldehydic group in this molecule. Now already we had studied in aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acid topic that aldehydes or ketones reacts with hydrogen cyanide to form the cyanohydrin. That means a simple nucleophilic addition reaction, and hydroxyl amine reacts with aldehydic group to form the oxime functional group or aldoxime. Similarly, on that basis we have to carry out this reaction to prove the presence of aldehydic group in this molecule. For that purpose, first we have to study this part. Glucose molecule, when treated with hydrogen cyanide, what happens? The C double bond O, from this C double bond O, pi bond breaks and cyanide group gets attached to the carbon and hydrogen links to this oxygen. Cyanide group approaches first, therefore it is a nucleophilic addition reaction. NAR stands for nucleophilic addition reaction, and you will get the cyanohydrin. That means this O gets converted to OH, double bond breaks and cyano group links to this carbon. You will get glucose cyanohydrin. This is the product. There is no any change in this group. Only aldehydic group undergoes this change. First part. Now second part, glucose is a starting compound. You have to react it with hydroxyl amine. Again the same reaction takes place, but it is a nucleophilic addition reaction with condensation. That means in this reaction water molecule is the side product. I had written on the arrow. Now what happens? This NH2OH reacts with this compound. These two hydrogens combines with oxygen to form water molecule, and remaining part NOH links to this carbon. That CH remains as it is, C double bond N OH, which is the oxime functional group, and the product formed is glucoxime. We will get this product, and on further test we can conclude this there is a presence of aldehydic group. Okay, these are the two evidences for aldehydic group. Now the last chemical property to prove the presence of hydroxyl groups present in the glucose. There are 5 hydroxyl groups in the open chain structure. We have to prove there is presence of 5 hydroxyl groups chemically. For that purpose, what we have to do? We have to do acetylation of glucose. Acetylation of glucose, particularly CH3CO group addition, is called as a acetylation. Now this glucose on reaction with acetyl chloride, or you can use the acetic anhydride, CH3C double bond O twice O, that is acetic anhydride. Now this acetic anhydride or acetyl chloride on reaction with glucose forms the product. Now I had written this, the skeleton of the glucose, which is open chain structure. What happens? Only the hydrogen atom of hydroxyl group is substituted by anhydride group. That means C double bond O CH3 is here. Similarly, C double bond O CH3 is here. Similarly here C double bond O CH3, and this one is C double bond O CH3, and finally here it is O and it is attached to C double bond O CH3. That means 5 acetyl groups are there, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We will get the 5 molecules of HCl as a side product, or if you use acetic anhydride as a reactant, then you will get 5 times CH3COOH as a side product. From this reaction, we can provide the evidence that there is presence of 5 hydroxyl groups in the glucose structure. The next part is optical isomerism in glucose. To check the optical activity, first initial condition is presence of tetrahedral carbon. From this structure, first one is a trigonal carbon, remaining C2 to C5. We can number it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From this, first carbon is sp2 hybridized. That means it is a trigonal carbon. Therefore, it is not optically active, or it is not a chiral carbon. But C2, C3, C4 and C5, these 4 carbon atoms are sp3 hybridized, as well as they are attached to 4 different atoms or group of atoms. Let's check this. If we consider C2, then it is attached to this CHO group, hydrogen, hydroxyl and whole this group. That means 4 atoms or group of atoms are different, therefore this is a chiral carbon atom. We can represent by a third carbon is also attached to whole this group, OH, H and whole this group, therefore it is also chiral. Similarly, fourth and fifth carbon is also chiral carbon. This is attached to 2 hydrogens, therefore it is not a chiral carbon atom. That means there are only 4 chiral carbon atoms present in glucose, that are C2, C3, C4 and C5. Now, to calculate the total optical isomers, we have to use the formula A is equal to 2 raised to n, where A is number of optical isomers and n, that is the number of chiral carbon atoms present in the structure. That means the value of n is 4 for glucose, therefore it is 16. Therefore, glucose has 16 optical isomers, and it is proved on the basis of this structure.